Do you also go through situations where you actually physically feel the pain of people around you and you can't stop yourself from feeling it? I've talked on this before where when I was 16 and I physically felt the heart pain exactly the same time as my nana was passing away with a heart attack. Again, when I was 35, I physically was bleeding whilst in the middle of my pregnancy. At exactly the same time I started bleeding was when my grandfather passed away and he had prostate cancer. I've talked about those stories before. Something else that happens, and I just feel like I want to share this because it's quite possibly happening with you as well, and there doesn't seem to be any logical explanation. It's all an energetic type thing that's happening. What happens is I will get some kind of physical pain in my body. And it doesn't matter whether I say, is this pain belong to me or does it belong to somebody else? I can ask that question and I can think that it belongs to me or think it belongs to someone else, but it doesn't actually go away until the person that has that pain talks to me about it. So just an example of like just recently, probably in the last 6 months, I started to get this chronic pain in my elbow. And then it went up to my shoulder, and then I actually had limited movement in my arm. I couldn't even move my arm. So I went to the doctor and they've referred me to a physio. And the doctor thought it may have been frozen shoulder. No particular reason, it just happened. All of a sudden it wasn't there and then it was just there. It wasn't a gradual thing. So then just before Christmas time, I caught up with my eldest son, and he was saying to me that he said he's had a very bad elbow and he'd been to the doctor, and the doctor had said he had tennis elbow from repetitive strain at his workplace. And as he was telling me what his symptoms were, I said to him, oh, I've got exactly the same pain, exactly the same as what he was experiencing. I was experiencing it as well. And then about 3 weeks after that conversation, I noticed that I had no pain at all in my elbow, and my elbow was sort of freeing up, and I thought, oh, that's interesting. And then, but the shoulder pain was still there. And then at Christmas time, I caught up with my brother, and we were having lunch together, and he was telling me how he has had frozen shoulder, and he's been having to go to the physio and get massage for his shoulder. And I said to him, I've got exactly the same pain. And when we pointed to all the spots where it was hurting, I was feeling exactly the same spots where he's had the pain. Probably about maybe only a week after that Christmas time, I went to hang the clothes on the line, and I went up like that and realised I had no pain at all in my arm. Once these people in my family have told me that they have the pain and I have that discussion with them, the pain leaves me. It's like my body is holding on to the pain until we've had the discussion. This has happened my entire life. Even like I was having all these dizzy spells. I just kept feeling dizzy all the time. I went to the doctor, had all the blood tests done, nothing was showing up. And I just tolerated this feeling of being dizzy. And then my father got diagnosed with epilepsy. And the moment he got his diagnosis, the dizziness left me. It's almost like my body is going to hold the energy, but it only happens with my loved ones. It's that closeness of, it's usually my sons I feel it with and my parents, but when it's with a friend, I have this odd feeling like I'll just be sitting there during the day and I start thinking about somebody and I get a bit of a niggle in my body. And then I find out that one of my friends has had a heart attack, or, they've had something go wrong with them. So I don't actually feel the intense pain with a friend. I just get a niggly feeling. But with a relative that's close to me, like my kids, I actually carry the pain. I carry the pain for them. I think it's worth talking about this because I'm sure there are so many people out there that this experience happens to, especially children. How many children actually walking around carrying pain that doesn't actually belong to them, it belongs to somebody else? And in a way, are we using a natural healing ability inside of us with this energy? Once we have the discussion with somebody and they tell us where the pain is and then it leaves my body, am I also in some way healing the burden of their pain? So really interesting topic, and I really want to get to understand this a bit more. So thanks for listening.